Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on the Pepete podcast. I hope you guys are well and also Happy New Year. It has been a while since I've done this. I have been planning an episode like every day for the past, 3 weeks into January, and I've just still not recorded one, but I am here today. And I've got a really nice episode actually to kind of kickstart the year, and it's a lot about what I was talking about in my last episode about the year of the snake, this whole transition period, becoming someone new, the shedding, the release, the healing, all of that. I'm still on the same topic. And I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like January is always a hard month for everyone. And, that goes back to, everyone's struggling for money because we get paid earlier in December. It's now Christmas is over, festivities have gone, your family have left, like you might be a little bit more on your own, isolated. Everyone's talking about New Year's resolutions and locking in and all these phrases that you keep hearing online. And you might feel a bit lost or a bit unsettled. And I'm here today to kind of put reassurance in that for you, because I've always found January hard. And this year, actually, even though I shouldn't be struggling for money like I am this year, because I've been doing fun things and because I've been trying to keep my head above water, like I've had a very difficult few months, and I always get so apprehensive around January time. I think it's going to be the worst year of my life and January is going to kill me and the whole year is going to be like the tone's going to be set for the whole year. And that really isn't the case, because what I've learned is, and this is going to make so much sense to so many of you, you're going to be like, oh my God, what? But what I didn't know, and I mean, we are just going to get straight into it now. What I didn't know about the whole Chinese New Year thing, I mean, I think I did. Obviously, Chinese New Year, like the Lunar New Year, isn't the 1st of January. I always thought, because I remember celebrating it at school, I always thought it was like the week after. It's not. It's midway through February. And, this is something that we should really remember more of. And as I said in my last episode, like I'm not one for horoscopes. I'm not one for any of that. But when I learned this, and I learned this actually not that long ago, I think it was around just after like our New Year, so the 1st of Jan. I saw on Instagram, and obviously because I'd been like reading a lot about like the year of the snake and all of that kind of thing, I saw on Instagram that it doesn't start until the 18th of February. So we're still in the year of the snake right now, and we're not yet into the year of the horse. So if you are feeling like unsettled, uncomfortable, a bit weird, I'm there too. Like it is a weird phase in our lives. Like January is always like a transition period. Yeah, people are trying to do their New Year's resolutions, etc. But it is still a transition period between we've just had a really fun, busy December, and now we're like, great, I've got no money, I'm not seeing anyone, might be doing dry Jan, so I'm not being social, like things like that. Like there's things that can make you feel a bit isolated, a bit on your own, a bit, uncomfortable. And to make it even a bit more weird, that I saw is the 18th of February. That is also the same date that, I don't know whether I should say this, but it's the same date that my ex is coming back from Dubai back to the village, which I think is just so symbolic of like new era, new me, no drama, just peace, going into this whole year of the horse, as I was explaining last time I spoke to you guys. I just thought I'd put that in there just because it is just, I read it and I was like, no way. Because I remember that date, like I was like, no way is that actually the same day. As I said, like I've never really been one for following like horoscopes or anything to do with like the lunar moon or anything like that. Like that's just not me. But since I have, like everything I see on Instagram just makes sense. Like I follow loads of Cancer horoscopes because I'm July birthday. I follow loads of those pages now because it just makes sense. Like everyone had a crap year, but everyone is going to have a great year this year. Even though I'm still struggling right now, like there's a lot of things going on in my life, but I'm prepared to have a good year. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, like I've woken up with, I think, maybe the start of tonsillitis, which isn't fun. And I'm just trying to keep that at bay because I don't want to start the year with an illness. I think it's because my body's just kind of going slow down because I had so much time off over Christmas, not playing hockey, no running, because I've hurt my knee, so I have an injury and I'm trying not to push through it. But I played 3 hockey matches in a row, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I woke up this morning and I was like, no, I'm not feeling okay, and my body's trying to tell me just to stop, which I am letting myself have a bit of rest. But yeah, so we are still in the year of the snake. It's not over yet. We've still got well, now another month. I mean, obviously, at the start of the year, it was a month and a half. Now we have around 4 and a bit weeks left to kind of shed everything now. I feel like, I mean, I was saying it a bit in the other episode, like last year was about shedding. No, last year was about going through all this stuff. And now this transition period is about the shedding and the healing. And as soon as I read that Chinese New Year doesn't start till the 18th of Feb, I was like, well, does that explain why I'm just suddenly wanting to heal and wanting to journal and wanting to go to therapy and having the motivation to do better and to make myself, like, prepare myself for the year? And I think it was, and this was before I read anything like this at all online. And I was like, that makes sense as to why I'm suddenly like, this is like the shift I need to bring forward and to enter the new year properly, blah, 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 blah. I.e., like, if you are someone who follows New Year's resolutions, it's almost, I feel like I don't, and you know my thoughts around that, but it's almost like this month and a half is about kind of transitioning into the person you want to be. But because you have this grace period of like 6 or 7 weeks, it means that you don't have to go full in on January 1st. It means you have that time to kind of get used to it and think about your goals. Because this year I didn't do a vision board before, like now. Like, I've only just started creating it and thinking about it. And maybe, again, that's why, like, I've not thought about it, because December's so busy. Like, the last thing you want to think about is all of your plans for next year, when you're like, I've got too many plans right now, like this week between Christmas and New Year, like it's too busy anyway. I don't want to think about 2026 or 2027. I don't want to think about those days. I want to just kind of enjoy what I've got now. So that's why I didn't do it this year. And I'm kind of using this time to be very gentle with myself. Like, again, in my head as well, like, it's probably just me thinking this, but January is a month to get through. And I think this whole like transition period from the 1st to the 18th of Feb, like, this is a transition period to enter the new year. And for me, that means like around that time when it's the Chinese New Year is when the Six Nations rugby is on. And that's like a big shift to me, because how the year plays out in my head is January, you just have to get through, because in February it's rugby, March there's still a bit of rugby on, then it's spring, then it's summer. Like, just get through January and we'll be fine. And now that I have this thinking of, okay, January is very much a transition time, that helps me get through it. And I do like group months into things, and you know, Jan is a shit month, Feb is rugby, March is spring, April usually warm, usually nothing going on, blah 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 blah. Like, I do have like monthly things that happen every single year. But so learning all of this really made sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to you as well. Like, if I'm not explaining it properly, please go look it up on Instagram. There's so many good posts about it. But it is this transition period into who we were and who we want to become, in not a spiritual way. Like, it really isn't. Like, if you think about it, it's so true. Like, January is so slow anyway. I mean, to be fair, nowadays it goes so quickly, but it's now the 20th of Jan. Like, where did the time go? I feel like it was last week was New Year's, but I'm using this time now to really buckle down on what I want out of recovery this year, because, you know, I'm back in outpatient treatment for that. I'm back in therapy. I'm back on really cracking down on that, because I want this year to be the year I break those old habits. And maybe you're of a similar thinking with other things, like you want to break those old habits, you want to become someone new, you really want this year to be your year, because maybe like me, you had your fair shit dealt to you over the last like 3 or 4 years. So if January feels heavy or unclear to you, that's not a failure. Like, it's not like, oh, I've still not done my New Year's resolutions. It's just the timing of it. Like, and it's a good thing. You have this grace period to understand what you want. And this is the time to make your goals, not December 31st. This is the time to be making your goals and realize what you want out of this year. And I also read and discovered a new word alongside this kind of research I was doing. The word is liminal. And I'd never heard of it before, but I mean, it makes sense, the meaning of it, if you actually dissect the word itself. I mean, I'm a linguist, so that's what I can do. But liminal means it's relating to like a transitional or initial stage of a process. It also can mean it's between like two boundaries, and it's kind of like a threshold between two things. And this is where my linguistics come in. Like, I studied Latin. Limen means threshold. That's where the meaning behind it is. So it's this kind of boundary between the two things. So January up until the middle of Feb is this liminal timing, this transitional period between who you were and who you want to become. And maybe this isn't something you want to take into every single year. Like, you don't want it to be, maybe, some people might use it as an excuse, like, oh, I can still do my old habits for a bit. I've still got till, the 18th of Feb, and that's the second month of the year. That's basically halfway through. Like, no, like, it's not how it happens. But not every year you want to be like, yeah, Jan's my grace period, but it can help you if you have that softer mentality of it. Like, okay, I don't need to put the pressure on myself right now. Yes, I still want to work out who I want to be and put some habits into place now and some goals in place now, but you don't have to rush everything on the 31st of December. You know what I mean? Like, you do have that softer period into it. And I've talked a lot about how I want 2026 to be a softer year with no pressure, no, not intense discipline. And, that there will be discipline in some parts of my life with recovery and things like that. But in terms of what I want out of the year, very, very loose goals. Or not loose, but smart goals, I guess. I hate that phrase because it just makes me think of KPIs at work. But smart goals and things that we can actually achieve. And smaller ones, little ones, small wins, small achievements that will end up being a massive win by the end of the year. And that's my kind of soft confidence, I guess. I've spoken about that quite a lot as well. That's what I want out of this year. I don't want it to be a huge rush into, oh my God, 2025 was such a shit year for me. 2026 has to be better. Because already it's 3 weeks in and there's been a couple moments where I've had a big wobble. There's been things that have happened already this year and I'm like, oh my God, leave me alone. But we're still in this transition period, this liminal phase. And it is this, as I said, is one of the meanings of the word, it's this initial stage of the process. It's getting into it. It's pressing go, but going very, very slowly on the treadmill before you start running, I guess is a good way to put it as well. And if you are feeling weird, it's true that you're no longer who you were in 2025. But you're still processing it because you're not yet fully embodied into who you will become in 2026. You're in this liminal space, and humans hate transition and change, but it's good because, as I said, it's such a slow change over 6 weeks. Like, I know you could say like, 6 weeks does nothing, but if you're doing the work now, again, not in a pressurized way, but if you're putting in slow little things now and you're just going along with it and letting kind of like the universe or whatever you believe in guide you, that's where the transformation like comes about. It's not like, I guarantee if you're thinking, well, I'm not putting any work in, like, you probably are in some way. And that's what will like take you into the new lunar year. And this is like the phase where certainty hasn't arrived yet, but there are little pieces coming in, like little fragments. Like, they're not huge like declarations of how your year is going to be. There's little things happening, little small wins that are happening. Like, I feel like they're like going to be really, really tiny specks on a big piece of paper of like all your little wins, but there are little things coming about here. And that's the kind of momentum, like as I talked about, like the year of the horse is full of momentum and rising and powerful things. This is like the kind of, if you've ever ridden a horse, you've got walking, trotting, oh my God, I need to remember now, cantering, galloping. Like, we're just on a light walk right now. We'll get into trotting like in February time, like, you know what I mean? It's that kind of build up to it. I don't know if that's the right word to use or right phrase to use. I haven't horse ridden in a bloody long time, but it's that kind of warm up before we go into the big year. And it is going to be a big year because we want it to be a big year. Yes, I said every year since 2020, and then, that's when COVID hit, and then I went through a lot of shit since then. I say every year, this year is going to be my year. I've not said it for the last 2 years, so this year is going to be my year. But you're also not stagnated. I feel like you might be thinking like, oh, I feel a bit stuck, I feel a bit lost. Like, you're not, you're just recalibrating, I guess. Like, you're in this transition period, you're trying to recalibrate your mind into thinking, who do I want to be? Oh my God, this year hasn't got off to the best start, but I can bring it back. Like, and that's what this grace period's for. And if you're thinking like, well, the year of the snake didn't really make a lot of sense to me, or, there wasn't massive things that impacted my life, it was just a bit of a dull year where there was like loads of little things that happen. The year of the snake didn't necessarily ask for big things to happen, or it wasn't meant to be loud. Like, to me it was, and to other people it might have been too. It asked for honesty and for you to sit with yourself and realise where you are in life, where you are with yourself, asking you to notice what relationships, what elements in your life, everything in your life, what feels tight, what feels forced, what feels performative. And to me, I think the whole year questioned the identities that we've had for survival over the last year or so. And to me, that was my ED. To me, that was me like pushing people away and isolating myself and all these things that were my identity for so long, because that's how I survived. And now we can break away from those things and realize like what it takes to survive and what we want in our lives in order to do that, and how we can help ourselves in a much healthier way, like letting go of those toxic habits that we thought, okay, this is how I survive, these are my coping mechanisms, stepping into new ones, not necessarily throwing them away, but just finding new ones to replace them. And also in a way to kind of, to me anyway, the Year of the Snake taught me to release versions of myself that were built in reaction to pain, you know, and there were things that I did and things that happened to me that were kind of epitomes of pain, and they embodied pain, and it was a reaction of pain. So this year wasn't about becoming better or doing more or reinventing yourself so publicly. And that's what I've learned over the last kind of 4 months about it didn't really need to be like that. And that's what the last couple of months of transition has taught me. It's just about shedding and subtracting and making space for the truth and for you, and to move forward with that too, and be okay with that, and be okay with you sitting with the uncomfortable feelings, the uncomfortable thoughts, and processing things that have happened, and really trying to shed light on what you can do now to make it better and to make you feel better, not anyone else, just you. So between now and Feb 18th, we're still in the work of letting go, of processing what the last year brought up, of grieving what fell away, like relationships, identities, versions of ourselves that no longer fit. But obviously all of this still mattered. The Year of the Snake didn't say, you went through all this and, you know, like, you can let go of it now. No, it's telling you that all of this mattered, the things that happened to you, the things that you did, the things that you didn't want to go through. Obviously no one wants to go through pain, but you understand what I mean. It taught us that we have to sit with this discomfort of not being who we are and not liking who we are, but also not fully knowing who we want to be yet. And I think that does describe a lot of 2025 to me. I didn't really have time to think about what I wanted, and it was such a busy year in so many ways, good and bad, and I didn't really know who I wanted to be. It was a very hectic year, and I wasn't able to sit with what I was dealing with and what I was going through. And now I have this quiet time in January. I mean, for me, work is still really busy, but I still have this quiet time to really focus on who I want to be, away from my 9 to 5 job or the work I do with clients in the background, or my content, or anything, away from my podcast even, like just who I want to be. Because I feel like every time I open my journal to say who I want to be, or my vision board, or whatever it is, I go straight to, I want to be successful at work, I want to have this many clients, I want to be a freelancer, I want my blog and podcast to really take off, like I want to video my podcast, which I am doing. YouTube will be coming very soon, but I go straight to that. And that's a massive part of who I am. Like, if I feel like my friends describe me, they'd say I do have a good work ethic and I'm always busy. Like, if friends ask to meet up, like, I'm like, oh, sorry, I've got this, I've got that. I am a busy person. But then you tie in like hockey as well. That's been a big identity to who I am right now. Like, honestly, if you see my TikTok, it's all about me playing hockey. But like, that's not who I am though. That's just a part of me. And now I'm using this time to really understand what fits and what doesn't fit, and what I want to get out of not just this year, but the rest of my life, and work out what aligns with that. And at the beginning of the episode, I said how shit January is for a lot of people. So we always want to rush through it. We always want to get through January. And I mean, I said that. I just want to get through January so then I can watch rugby all of February and all those things. Because January culture tells us to be disciplined, focused, productive, transformed. And with everything I've been through with my ED, I shy away from all that. And that's what makes it harder, because I'm seeing online all the time, like, you've got to be disciplined, you've got to lock in all these things. And it really doesn't help me as a person. It does help some people, I understand. But maybe that's why I've always shied away from this, and I wanted to rush through it because I feel like shit and I don't want to go through it again and again and again. And with everyone online telling us we have to be disciplined, we have to hit the ground running, we have to already be healed to start the new year, that's not going to work for us because our body, our nervous system, we don't work on calendar years. We work on cycles, and that happens every year. But the cycle is now closing for us. Like, if you want to relate to anything, I feel like, I mean, I know, as I said, this is the first year doing this, but I really do relate to the whole Lunar New Year thing. Like, it does make so much more sense to me. It might not to you. Like, you might think, okay, that week before Christmas and New Year, that's when you settle down. That's when you kind of work out who you are. Like, if you do that every year, you make your vision board. Great. I've done that every year and it does fuck all for me. Like, I will say that. Now I'm using this phase, like, Jan is quieter, like, I'm not doing as much, people aren't being as social, like, everyone is just kind of taking a chill. And this is the time where you can do it in a very soft way, and you don't have to hit the ground running. You don't have to have all this pressure on you to do a million things in 1 month because you want to hit all of your goals. Because by February time, you're going to be exhausted, and you don't want that. And all of this means that you're still shedding, you're still letting go of all these expectations and pressures I've just said. Like, you're still learning that. And this is such a powerful time for, as I said, like, this idea of gentle and soft reflection over the pressure, resting without guilt, noticing what feels heavy when you imagine carrying it forward, and asking what you don't want to take into the next chapter. Rebuilding this trust with yourself quietly, not performatively. Like, I know I share so much about my journey and everything online because I have done a lot of things in my life for other people. I have changed for other people. I have done loads of things for other people, but now I'm like, no, I'm doing it for me. Like, yeah, sure, like, there's new people in my life right now. I'm not doing it for them. Like, I'm happy that they're here. I'm happy that I have the opportunity to start fresh with someone new, and a new friendship group and a whole new kind of world. And it's come at the right time. Like, me getting the letter through from the NHS saying we want to see you for NHS therapy for your ED, going back into treatment. Like, all of this has come at the very, very, very best time for me to start my year fresh, but with no pressure. Like, again, like, I'm starting something new with someone else, and I've got new friends. I'm starting therapy again with someone else. And if you've been in therapy before, you know how kind of slow it is at the start because you get to know each other, you get to connect with each other. Like, it is a bit slower. So it is that exact, like, symbolic thing of, like, everything's just slow, like, getting to know each other. There's no pressure to perform in any of these things I've just mentioned. So we don't need to have that momentum and the force of the year of the horse yet because it's not here. And you don't need to hit the ground running like a horse would. I think that is another metaphor we can use here. The momentum will come. And I'm not saying it will come on the Feb 18th, like, you're going to have a great day, you're going to be filled with power. Like, I hope that is how the moon works. And I hope that is actually true about all those bloody things about the moon gives you power, like, it gives the ocean its power, it gives you the power, all the feminine energy. Like, I hope that's true. And I feel like I'm someone who could believe in that. So hopefully Feb 18th I have a bloody great day. But I'm not saying it will come on that day, but that will be the start. Like, this is still the start. Like, this is the transition period, and it will just blend into the year of the horse. It won't just suddenly be like, right, it's a brand new year, let's go for it. It's not going to be like that at all. It will come. Momentum will come, but it comes after space has been made. It comes after the shedding, the letting go. So if you need longer than the next month, that's fine too, because it will come, because you know it's the year of the horse. Like, it will be there. Maybe not straight away. It will come. So if you are feeling a bit weird like me, maybe there's some things like you might need to think about if you feel a bit stuck, because this means that you're shedding. And it is like, as me, I have fluctuating and quite low energy. I mean, that is coming from the fact that I think I'm getting ill, and my body is just breaking down on me. But there is that kind of, I am feeling tired and fatigued, but I'm getting through it. And it's because I know that I am literally letting go of it. Like, I've cried a lot already this month. Like, I'm just trying to let go of all of this and just shed it away, and so that I know that I can then rise with confidence in the middle of February. And I do feel more like emotional and sensitive. Like, that is coming because it probably is to do with like the pressure of it's January, or the pressure of, oh my god, it's the year of the horse, that kind of thing. But it is because there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to process, a lot to shed, and a lot to kind of move on from. And it is that tender feeling of, okay, I just want to get this done, but it's going to be very hard to go through. With loads of things in my life right now, there's a load of things that I'm dealing with. So it is like, it is tender, it is sore. And it is that feeling like I'm between chapters. It is this kind of, as I said, this boundary between this liminal period where I am between different versions of me and becoming different people. And it is scary. Like, I'm not saying this is easy. Like, it is a very scary time. Like, humans hate change. We hate it because usually it means there's a threat and we have to change, we have to evolve. And we don't like it, but we've always done it since bloody caveman times. Like, we've always evolved, we've always changed because we had to. And that's survival instincts. It's not as kind of poignant as that. It's not as strong as that. It's, no, like, we are surviving, but this is the next thing we need to move forward with that too. And as well, like, we're grieving last year, and this is what this whole transition period is about, like, to grieve it. Like, yeah, we've kind of moved on from it a little bit, but no, we have to grieve it as well and process it, and not necessarily move on from it, but move through it with the pain. So maybe it's time to use this period in a gentle way, in a soft way, and reflect instead of forcing these goals into action. And really ask yourself, what am I done with? And rebuild this self-trust in a quiet way. You don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to say to everyone, I'm starting this new chapter. I'm doing this. Like, do it in your own subtle way. So yeah, ask yourself, what am I done with? Are you done with guilt? Are you done with pretending? Are you done with certain people? These are the like difficult questions we have to ask ourselves if we want this transition to go ahead, really. Like, it will either way, but we have to have in your head this kind of idea that the snake, it clears, it releases, it prepares us for the next year. So everything we went through is preparing us, you know. Maybe that might mean that still the year of the horse is going to be a difficult year for you, but you have that confidence, you have that power behind it and that momentum to get through it, because the year of the snake prepared us for that. I'm praying this year isn't worse. I'm really praying that, but it might. But I've got the power behind me now to get through it and to be okay with me going through shit, you know. It's that confidence to know that you will get through it and you will be okay the next time this happens. Or, you know, we can't just say this year's gonna be great with nothing in our way. Like, things are gonna pop up, things are gonna hurt, but just know that we have the power to go through it. And then the horse brings this movement, this confidence, this forward momentum. But this momentum, as I said, only comes after the space has been made. So take the time now. You don't need to force yourself to be ready. You don't need to force that idea of readiness. You can have this time now, and it is this grace period before life takes over again. And make sure you build, if there's one habit you want to build, is to build that habit of slowing it down and to being present and to know that you're okay with where you are right now. Even if it's not where you want to be, where you are right now is good enough either way. So you're not broken, you're not behind, you're not failing January. You're still shedding, you're still transitioning, and this is exactly where you're meant to be. So if there's anything you learned from this episode, just know that, as I said, you're not behind. This period is meant to be a slow, graceful period, so don't put the pressure on yourself and just let it happen. Let everything guide you, let things fall where they may, and trust in yourself that things will be okay again and that things will not be as bad as last year. Like, if you say that things won't be, yeah, you can't prepare for like grieving people and all this and things to happen and things to like people to do stuff to you, or you can't really prepare for that, but you can prepare for how you react to it and how you deal with it. So use the year of the snake and everything you learned from that to push you forward into this new year, and be ready for that instead of being ready for the bad things. Be ready for how you're going to deal with it. But on that note, I will leave it here. I'm hoping I don't get tonsillitis. Like, I don't think I could handle that right now. I've just been saying that, like, I can't. But yeah, I hope you guys are having as best as you can in January. Like, I know yesterday was Blue Monday. I was alright yesterday. I was just very, very tired. I had such a busy weekend. Like, I know I haven't done like a life updates. I've had a busy weekend, so I was just so tired yesterday. I napped at my desk when I was midway through making a presentation. Like, I napped on my desk. It was like 3 p.m. I was like, what? How did I get here? But with that, I hope you have a good rest of the month, and I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.